Now on Tech Tonight, liberal arts shakeup. The College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences will soon see another leadership change.
Plus, community concerns, how students and faculty are coming together to discuss how they can impact the future of society.
The College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences is facing some major changes. Welcome to Tech Tonight. I'm Rebecca Choate.
And I'm Alexis Layana. The university is seeing not one, but two major changes in the college. Both head dean and associate dean of the department are leaving the university. Former associate dean Robert Stevens announced he would be leaving last year. His position is now filled by Dan Thorpe, who took over at the end of December. Head dean Elizabeth Spiller will officially leave her position on March 6th. The university named Professor Rosemary Blesner as the interim dean. Virginia Tech will begin to look for a new dean in the fall.
The Division of Student Affairs has launched the See Something, Say Something campaign to create and sustain a community where every Hokie can thrive. The campaign is an effort to uphold Virginia Tech's commitment to provide an environment free of harassment, intimidation, fear, coercion, and exploitation. If students wish to say something, the Division of Student Affairs has created an online form. The form allows students to specify the type of discrimination, harassment, or property damage, along with the date and location it occurred. Students can report incidents of bias through the Dean of Students website at dos.vt.edu. We've seen some uncharacteristically warm weather for February. Will it continue into next week?
Chief Meteorologist Catherine Maxwell has your forecast. Catherine?
It has been a rainy couple of days, but today we got to have a break from that and enjoy the spring-like weather. The rain can potentially continue on for tonight and for tomorrow as well. For this coming up week, we'll be not really having much sunshine, more cloudiness throughout next week. The temperatures will be warmer than normal Friday for February temperatures, just like this week. On the map, we notice that there is slight rain possibility tonight hovering over the mountains and taking place on top of Blacksburg. Should be light rain throughout the night, a low of 54 with winds moving southeast at a calm speed of 5 miles per hour. Now for your Saturday, the rain from the night will continue on to move on through our region for the morning portions of our day. When the rain pushes through, we will see cloudy conditions with a high of 59 degrees. Winds will be picking up some speed and will continue windy even throughout Saturday night with a southwest wind of 15 miles per hour. For your weekly weather, lows mainly in the 30s until Tuesday, where the lows pick up to 51 degrees. The rest of the week we will continue to warm up, and on Wednesday we reach a high of 66 degrees. So keep your umbrella handy, because even though Friday and Saturday will show some showers and it looks like the rain could be done, it picks back up Wednesday. I'm VTTV Chief Meteorologist Catherine Maxwell, and it's great to be back. Back to you guys.
Last week, a fire caused a nearly $1 million Virginia research facility to burn to the ground. Reporter Katie Magnet shows us how researchers from Future House are picking up the pieces.
A fire burned part of the Price's Fork Research Center, destroying the prototype for a well-known architecture project known as Future House.
The blaze in the Price's Fork Research Center burned down about $1.3 million in equipment and technology that made up the prototype for the Future House project.
I mean, it was a pretty devastating fire. It completely, erased all of the research that we had physically completed.
The project was created to research the future of housing construction, assembly, and even technology that people can expect to have in their future homes. After an investigation by the Blacksburg Fire Department, the cause of the fire was determined to be an electrical malfunction under the living room module of the project. Although almost all of the project was destroyed in the fire, students and faculty who were involved with the project are still optimistic about its future.
They were already planning to build a new facility. Unfortunately, it had to end the way that it did, but we're excited to be in a newer facility and be able to really be more on campus to showcase, what we're doing along the way. So I think that everything that's going to happen moving forward is going to be a better step.
The Future House project was already involved in the 2018 Solar Decathlon in Dubai and is planning on still showing the technology to others using a virtual model.
Reporting from the Price's Fork Research Center, Katie Magnet, Tech Tonight.
Community Voices, an interdisciplinary group of Virginia Tech graduate students and faculty, hosted food systems and social justice activist Jeanette Abby Nader on Wednesday. Abby Nader discussed community building, food insecurity, and inclusivity with Virginia Tech professor Kim Niewolny in the Graduate Life Center. Abby Nader is the executive director of the City Schoolyard Garden Project, a nonprofit organization that manages 8 garden spaces at public schools in Charlottesville, Virginia. The City Schoolyard Garden Project uses garden-based experiential learning and leadership development to encourage academic achievement, health, environmental stewardship, and community engagement. Community Voices invites guests like Abby Nader to learn how leaders from public, private, and nonprofit sectors help communities shape their futures.
A group in Blacksburg is finding a way to help Syrian refugees in the community. The Blacksburg Refugee Partnership is working with the Commonwealth Catholic Charities to help settle families in the community. Despite the recent travel ban and more talks of stopping refugees from coming to America from Trump, the partnership has helped 4 families come to the area. The partnership has seen an overwhelmingly support from the community and now have nearly 300 members to help settle in the families. The partnership is working to make sure they have a furnished home, a school for the children, and a way for the families to get around town. The most recent family arrived last week from Syria. The partnership hopes to continue to bring more families to the area, but they say for now they will focus their efforts on making sure the families here can just adjust to the communities.
With less than 100 days until graduation, many students are quickly trying to secure a job. Reporter Taylor Kelso looks at how Virginia Tech is helping students prepare for their future.
During the Cameo Career Fair, Virginia Tech engineering students were able to connect with representatives from over 100 different companies.
Cameo is an entirely student-run organization here to help students meet their goal and aspirations by connecting them with their future employers. Big employers that came to this career fest include Ford, Capital One, and GE Appliances. Tara Lee was a big part of this career fair by putting together which companies attended and making sure that each student was able to register correctly.
I am responsible for putting together all the information for companies and making sure all the vendors are ready for the day of the event and just basically running the show. So this year was a little different because until last year we were able to swipe the Hokie passports and have the student information collected. However, there was an issue, so we had to actually manually enter in student name, major, and their year.
Students who were unable to attend will have to wait a year for the Cameo Career Fair to return in the spring. Reporting from Squire Student Center, I'm Taylor Kelso from Tech Tonight.
Coming up in entertainment news, a downtown business is shutting their doors after 14 years. What the owner cites as the reason for the downturn in business.
Plus, popular hiking destinations are not the only thing that outdoor lovers will be able to do in the area. How the university is teaching people about Appalachia next.
Students can make up for their misfortunate holiday. Welcome to your entertainment news. I'm Claire Rigney.
And I'm Riley Wyan. For people whose Valentine's Day didn't go the way they planned, Solely Swing at Virginia Tech came up with a solution. Today they held the Second Chance Valentine's Day Dance. The event is meant to make up for any mistakes that your significant other could have made during the Valentine's February holiday. Organizers helped people swing their way into a good time. The event had a DJ to play favorite jazz tunes while couples swing danced together.
Following a string of closings last year, another downtown favorite will be shutting their doors. Mad Dog Boutique announced that they are closing down before the end of the month. The dog-friendly store was a staple in the city for over 14 years. Owner Dorothy Egger said that this is not the first time that she's thought about closing up shop. A few years ago, she made a similar decision, but a customer begged her not to. She cites the rise of the internet and that many people labeled them as a young women's only store as the reason for the closing. Mad Dog closing comes at the end of a long streak of other businesses in the area closing their doors, including Mike's Grill, Pita Vera, Clothes Rack, and Wicked Taco. Egger says that depending on how quickly she sells her inventory, she may stay open through the beginning of March.
Avid hikers in the area will now have something new to look forward to. Virginia Tech will be hosting Extreme Appalachia, the 40th annual Appalachian Studies Conference, March 9th through 12th. It will be the first time since 1994 that Virginia Tech has served as a host. Over 4 days, those in attendance will get the chance to discover Appalachia through cultural programs, research presentations, musical performances, art exhibits, documentaries, and field trips. The conference will also address many important concerns through the Appalachian region, including many environmental threats and impacts on the inhabitants. Professors from Virginia Tech and other universities will lead the hikes, speaking about their passions and sharing their research all week. Conference registration is open to everyone and free for Virginia Tech students.
This year's School of Performing Arts main stage production is Mr. Marmalade, a dark comedy about disturbed children. Mr. Marmalade, written by Noah Hadel, premiered off-Broadway in 2005. According to the School of Performing Arts, the show, quote, warns us that we must be careful how we raise our children, end quote. The play centers around a 4-year-old girl named Lucy and her imaginary friend, Mr. Marmalade. Her friend, however, has some very dark habits, creating the conflict behind this dark comedy. There is a warning that the show contains adult themes and language. The Studio Theater in Squires will host the play, which is running from February 21st to February 28th. Show times are at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are available for purchase on the first floor of Squires Student Center. Coming up in your Hokie sports news, the Hokies face off their biggest rival in basketball. See how they fared.
Plus, Virginia Tech wrestling is about to see a big change. Find out why the head coach is ready for a new challenge. Next.
Hokies face their fiercest rival in basketball yet. Welcome to your Hokie Sports News. I'm Michelle Polanka.
And I'm Billy Parvitam. Last Sunday, the Virginia Tech faithful packed Castle Coliseum as the Hokies hosted the UVA Cavaliers in the latest renewal of the Commonwealth Clash. It turned out to be one of the greatest games in Castle history as the Hokies took down the number 12 ranked Cavaliers 80-78 in double overtime. Virginia Tech came out of the gate slow, trailing UVA at halftime by 14 points. Legendary coach Frank Beamer came out at halftime and gave the crowd something to cheer about with a speech guaranteeing a Virginia Tech comeback in the second half. And comeback they did. Trailing by 2 points in the waning seconds, redshirt junior Ty Outlaw tipped in a Seth Allen miss at the buzzer to send the game into overtime tied at 63. In the first overtime, the Hokies once again trailed by 3 before Justin Bibbs hit a three-pointer to tie the game at 68. Seth Allen would miss a potential game winner at the buzzer to send the game into a second overtime. In the second overtime period, Allen would redeem himself. With the clock winding down, he converted on a layup with 3 seconds left to send the home crowd into a frenzy. After a missed shot at the buzzer by the Cavaliers, Castle stormed the court for the second time this year to put the exclamation point on a classic. With the win, the Hokies beat the Cavaliers at home for the second straight season. Following a win at Pittsburgh and a loss at Louisville, Virginia Tech's record sits at 18-8 overall, including 8-8 in the ACC. They'll finish out the season with 3 out of 4 games at home.
Virginia Tech wrestling team won the final 4 matches of the evening, and the number 5 ranked team claimed a 22-15 victory over number 6 ranked Nebraska last Sunday. Over 1,200 fans packed the Virginia Tech Carillion Court to cheer on the Hokies. This win is Virginia Tech's first time beating the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Hokie coach Kevin Dresser credits his staff for the team's success. Last Sunday, 174-pound David Bergita subbed in for an injured Zach Epperly and earned a 13-8 win over Nebraska's Justin Arthur. This was the final match at Castle Coliseum for redshirt senior Bergita. This season he improved his record from 12-14. Now the Hokies are preparing for the ACC Championships, which will be held at Reynolds Coliseum in Raleigh, North Carolina on March 4th.
In other wrestling news, it is the end of an era in Blacksburg. Wrestling head coach Kevin Dresser announced he will leave the program to take the same position at Iowa State. Dresser cited a desire to return to his home state of Iowa as a factor in his decision. Dresser's hometown of Humboldt, Iowa is around 80 miles away from Iowa State, and his mother and brother also live close by. He said he's looking forward to a new challenge, which he will be getting at Iowa State as the Cyclones are coming off a 1-12 season, their worst finish since 1942 to 1943. Dresser took over the job at Virginia Tech in 2006 and has led the program to a 160-51 record in 11 seasons at the helm. Dresser is accustomed to the state of Virginia, having also coached at nearby Christiansburg High School and Grundy High School. He stamped his tenure at Virginia Tech with an exciting comeback win over the number 6th ranked Nebraska Huskies Saturday 22-15. Associate head coach Tony Roby will take over as the interim head coach for the remainder of the season. The Hokies just recently were named ACC dual meet champions and will look to be a contender at the national championships after finishing 4th last year.
This past Sunday, the Hokies traveled to South Carolina and claimed an 8-2 victory over USC Upstate. Redshirt junior Andrew McDonald held USC Upstate to just 2 runs over 7+ innings and struck out 9. Unlike the first 2 games of the series, where Tech put up a bunch of early runs on the scoreboard, the Hokies only managed single runs in the 3rd, 5th, and 6th frames. McDonald allowed an RBI single in the 4th and 5th, but used a double play in the 6th to get out of the frame. In the 7th, Tech gave him insurance runs on a Tom Stuffle RBI grounder and a Nick Anderson solo home run, and McDonald followed with a perfect bottom of the 7th. In the bottom of the 8th, Anderson got out of the jam with a strikeout. In the 9th, Tech added 3 unearned runs while Paul Hall Jr. closed the game for the Hokies.
Coming up, we'll have a final look at your forecast from Chief Meteorologist Catherine Maxwell.
Stay tuned.
Man, we have been experiencing these spring-like temperatures for most of this week. It doesn't even feel like it's February right now. And next week, it's going to be playing that trick on us again. When we're starting to reach into Wednesday, though, and going on throughout the rest of the end of the week, we'll be seeing more cooler temperatures, more into the winter times. Our lows, though, at night will be dipping into the 30s, so don't let the afternoon highs trick you into thinking nighttime will be much warmer. Rain will be coming on periodically for next week, so keep your eye to the sky.